Let me introduce our next speaker. Some questions. Are your promotional efforts producing the best results? Yes or no? No.
Oh, thank you for being here then.
Great. You've come to the right place. Want a greater response on your print and social media efforts?
Yes?
Awesome.
Yes.
And simple ideas that work?
Yes.
Great. Marketing is fundamental to the success of your club. In this insightful session, you will learn the 3 stages of how readers read and what they need in your promotion. Identify your ideal markets and potential members. View samples of flyers and posters with before and after makeovers. And understand what design elements are best placed where in the layout and why. Our session presenter is a subject matter expert in this field and generously shares over 45 years in graphics, marketing, advertising, and photography and publishing with you. Add to that 36 years as a Toastmaster and brand ambassador. She has owned 5 graphic design studios, received 4 Toastmasters International Awards for newsletters, presented well over 3,500 marketing seminars in 13 countries, and published 5 books on this topic. The Solid Gold newsletter design illustrated book created for Toastmasters VP membership and PR managers, and also became a course book at the University of Ottawa in Canada. In this Market Like a Pro session, get ready to discover golden nuggets on how to promote your club to potential members. And with distinguished Toastmaster, accredited speaker, Sheryl Roush. Please join me in welcoming Sheryl.
Let's thank our division director, Wendy. Thank you. Woo. All right, everyone has a copy of the handout. Hello, hello, hello. All right, let me ask you, how many of you are responsible for helping to market your club? Raise your hand. Guess what? All of us are. Thank you for playing. It's true. Because if we do not keep our clubs healthy, they will vanish. And then our service in helping people speak for the very first time, then we wouldn't be living our mission. So raise your hand if you are the VP of PR for your club, right? How many of you have ever served in that position? Yes? Welcome to Toastmasters Leadership Institute and your club officer training, sponsored by Cisco Speaks and the facility by SYNOPSIS. So thank you very much. You have saved this district thousands of dollars by your contributions. And they flew me out from New York. I'm from San Diego. So it's wonderful to be back in the gold rush state. Check out the gold. Well, we are going to be chipping away at a gold mine of great design, tapping into the mother lode. Are you with me on that? I brought the mother lode. Some people call them bribes. Sorry, online audience, but there are 4 different types of golden nuggets. So let me tell you about these nuggets. In your handout, the second page is for you to capture those golden nuggets, those brilliant ideas that you can take back to your clubs, that you can bring them in to help support everything that you're doing. So we're going to have some fun with that. So about these golden nuggets, they're imports. Yeah, let me explain that. All right, so they're Hershey's Golden Nuggets. So now that I live in New York in the southern tier, just moved from San Diego just 3 years ago, that it is Hershey's, which is just next door to where I am in the next state over. So it's Hershey's. Sorry, I know I'm bringing them into Ghirardelli country. Yeah, forgive me for that. But follow me on this, because Hershey's Golden Nuggets, they are roasted California almonds. So there you go. I brought them home. All right, so let's jump in and have some fun with this. Here is a copy of the handouts, just in case you have not downloaded it, either through the chat box or here in the room. And this is a good training tip too. So if you give presentations, never assume everyone in the audience already has the handout materials. Always show what it looks like. Fair enough. There's a golden nugget right there for you that isn't even about marketing. But if you want to put a marketing angle on it, anytime that you speak, raise your hand if you speak outside of your club for any other organizations. Always, always, always have a handout to take away. And it's recommended you have them at the beginning of the session so people can take their own notes. Have you ever attended a session, though, that they give them to you at the very end and you're going, this would have been good to have 45 minutes ago? All right, so then have your contact information on that handout so that people can follow up with you. That's marketing. That's marketing. All right, so jumping in here. All right, so we're looking for golden nuggets. Have you captured a couple already? Dress to the theme. All the way to the shoes. Okay. Right, Wendy? Dress to the theme. All right, so we're going to take a look at what those golden nuggets are for you. So thank you. All right, so holler out for me if you would. And online, let's see. Anna, are you checking the chat for me? And you can holler out. Marketing is what? Complete the sentence. Okay, so let me hear it in here. Marketing, raise your hand so I see where you are. So marketing is what? Complete the sentence. Telling the story. Do you mind if I toss it? Or could I have a runner to deliver the golden nuggets? I can do that. Oh, you're shooting. Okay. Okay, all right, great. We have a runner coming all the way from the back. Thank you. Okay, so, and your name is? Lorraine. Lorraine. Oh my gosh, you should, oh, now hold the basket. She was just going to take one. All right, so thank you, Lorraine. All right, so, okay, raise your hand up over there. Okay, so marketing is, say it again. Telling a story, great. Promoting, great. Lorraine, you're going to need to hustle. Go ahead. Evoking emotion. Because, and what is your name? Ray, it's because that's why people buy. The decision is not made in the head, it's justified up here, but the decision for marketing is made in the heart. Thank you. Go ahead. Creating awareness. Great. Did you get Shalina's? Okay. Oh, she got two. Okay, great. Thank you. Go ahead.
Hard.
It's hard, so it's difficult to do. I'm going to break it down and make it easy for you. Fair deal? High five. You got that. Okay, make sure, give her a couple. Okay, all right. Great. Okay, Anna, how are we doing? Come on, chat with us. Chat with us. Complete the sentence. Marketing is what? Go ahead. Connecting. Yes. Elaine. Sharing the benefits. Great. Keep running, Lorraine. Okay, do you have your Fitbit on today? Okay, go ahead. Okay, so giving words to the customers in a way that resonates with them. Give her 3 nuggets, because everything is about meeting people where they are, speaking their language, creating relationship. So here's how this replies. Okay, Lorraine, come on up here because we're going to start up here. So here's how this relates to us in Toastmasters. As soon as we have someone who might be a potential member, we jump on them and say, oh, you're going to love it. You need to come to the meetings. We start at 7 a.m. We haven't even heard what his issues or challenges are yet. We need to start by asking more questions. So how was your experience this morning, first timer?
Oh, I'm impressed.
You're impressed? How did it feel?
I was on a spot.
We're on the spot, right? So, and you stepped up to it. Were you facing a fear?
No, not much.
Not much. At this point, I just want to give them an application. Okay, all right, and then go ahead. Connecting and convincing people. This is great. Who else? We got plenty of golden nuggets. Go ahead. Advertisement, yes. Building community, all the way in the back. Sharing your message, and I'm going to say ... in a way they can receive it and identify that, yes, this is important to them. Anna, online? Okay, come on, chat with us. Complete the sentence. Okay, go ahead. Making a difference. Absolutely. Okay, go ahead.
marketing is knowing your audience also.
That's the core. Thank you very. She's on our PR team. There you go. Okay, Selena. Okay, so it's knowing your audience, knowing your market. Well, guess what? In Toastmasters, we have two markets. Think about it. We have two markets. We have people who are members and people who are not yet members. All right. So marketing is. All of your answers are correct. Here's a definition that I'll supply to you, that marketing is getting the word out. We are the solution to their problem. That's a big golden nugget. Big golden nugget. Make sense? All right, so let me ask you, get ready to run, Lorraine. You're doing fabulous. All right, so what problems do we solve? Raise your hand, go ahead. Getting rid of the fears they have. How many of us joined because we had the fears? How many of us joined and had no idea the fear we had? I didn't. I cried my first 3 speeches. I mean, we're talking, I held onto the lectern. It was a white knuckle speech, and tears were flooding down my face. It was ugly. In 19 Oz that time. I didn't even know my fears were so big. Great. Who else? Go ahead, Elaine. Building confidence. Oh, the supportive environment. Yeah, I cried and they would hand me Kleenex. So it's all good. Go ahead, all the way in the back. Okay, so the non-judgmental, right? Okay, good, good, good. Go ahead. To be connected. Maybe we needed a network. Yes, good. Lorraine up here too. Go ahead. A safe space. Belonging. All right, raise your hand so she knows where to run. Okay. All right, go ahead. Exposing. Oh, explain. Exposure therapy. Are you getting that? Exposure therapy. Okay. Public speaking over and over again. Right. Good. Okay. Lorraine, a couple rows back. Go ahead. To tell our stories. Yes. Go ahead again. Take the risk to be who I am. Thank you. I think that you're in the running for the most nuggets this morning. Okay, go ahead. Yes, showing a problem they didn't even know they had. It could be time management, goal management, meeting management. Oh my gosh, the list goes on and on. Go ahead, Celine. So learning to listen. All right, so then could other people benefit from what we have to offer just based on what you said or some of the issues and challenges? Yes. So why aren't they in our club? Just saying. Maybe they need to be invited. Maybe we need to create that conversation. Yep. All right, so let's break that down. Here are our two markets. If you think about it, the very first group is internal. These are people who are already members that we want to come to TLI. Basically, this is an internal type of event. Could non-Toastmasters attend? Yes. Would they be interested in the dynamic presentations and the topics of value? Yes. All right, so here's our second market, though, our external. This is where we are going to focus, although this relates to everything, including in corporate training programs. All right, so you can take a break for a second, but take the nuggets with you. How are we doing? That's 4 bags worth. Okay, so we're good. Go ahead and take a break. Please, let's applaud Lorraine for being our runner here. Thank you, thank you. Okay. All right. So outside of Toastmasters, these are non-members, potential members, and guests. That's where we're going to focus on this. So let me show you some examples. This one happens to be from District 101, and it was on Facebook. So this is an internal advert, if you will, a social media or poster, that then it breaks it down to check out the bullet points. People are looking for short bits of what's in it for me. There's a small percentage, which are called avid readers, that read everything that's on the marketing material. And if there's any typographical mistakes, bless their little hearts, they're the ones who are going to point it out for us. And then the bullet points, though, because the main type of audience are browsers, they're quick decision makers based on, is it relevant to me? That's when we step up and decide to enroll or register for $10 or $15. Now, here's the biggest competition to all of our events and what we do. It's not the cost. It's the time, energy, And here in Northern California, it's the travel time. Please take those into consideration when you are marketing and hosting an event. Sometimes it will be better to have a virtual or hybrid event. And this is our very first hybrid event for D101. Yay! Thank you for being here. It's all about you. I love it. So here's another example of an internal marketing advert. And notice that, and I'm a firm believer in questions. So if you listened to Wendy as she provided the introduction this morning, she asked questions that are relevant, that you could relate to, that actually were the problems that this course would be potential solutions to. So if you were catching that type of formula in a speaker introduction, that was the format. So in this particular example, are you ready to help your club get to the next level? Question mark. Then it starts giving information about what this particular course or this training event is. What we'll also learn in this session is what goes where and why, because there are specific placements in advertising and promotion that guide the reader through in the manner they need. We kind of reverse engineer it. So there you go. All right, so there's an example of an internal. Here's another one, and this is for Zoom meeting for Pathways Progress. And again, same thing with the QR code in the bottom right-hand corner. So if you're not yet using QR codes, and I was speaking to the printing industry of America at the time that QR codes were just being introduced, and the printers were very concerned that they would be going out of business because of these, that they're scannable and everything else. They didn't think it would last. So here we are a few years later, yes. So consider using QR codes. The tip here, here's another golden nugget, make it easy for people to respond. Make it easy for them to respond. And because we have 4 generations in the workplace today, 5 generations that we're connecting with, meet people where they are. What's their technology? Ed Tate was talking about his flip phone. Kind of reminds me of the communicator from Star Trek. I'm a big Trekkie, by the way. Anybody else? Anybody else Trekkie? Thank you. Live long and prosper. I love it. I found my people. And by the way, Leonard Nimoy was a Toastmaster. I was his concierge driver personal assistant for 4 days at the San Diego Comic-Con, one of his last that he did. And I was driving him around, and I needed to excuse myself from his service. And usually you don't talk to a star unless there's some logistics to be handled. And I said, Mr. Nimoy, I need to excuse myself from your service. He says, why? Where are you going? I said, I'm presenting. And he said, what are you talking on? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm on keynote. Really? Well, where is this? And I named the university. And he said, well, what's the group? And I said, Toastmasters. And he goes, Toastmasters? I was a Toastmaster. Right? You could feel my heart skip a beat. Really, sir? When was that? And he told me it was 1956. Brent Spiner, Data, was in the back seat. And Data, Brent Spiner says, really, do you think that would, be really good for me, Yes, I do. He was so gracious. So, Leonard Nimoy, fellow Toastmaster, there you have it. You heard it from me. I was in the car. Okay, so then, okay, so if you're on Bluetooth right now, if you could turn off your Bluetooth so that we can maintain our connection here, please. Oh. Oh. Do you still have more room on your sheet of paper for more nuggets? Yes? Okay, this will be fun. All right. So then looking at this example, wait, it locked up. Hold on. I know. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we're back in business. Okay, all right. So then in the next page inside the handout, let me give you some of these numbers, do a little bit of data dump, but with application for everything that you're doing. All right. So there are, in our reading groups, there are 3 particular types of readers, and we need to, again, meet them where they are and craft messages that are specific for them. So this information comes to us from the American Library Association. So the very first percentage are 10 to 15% referred to as non-readers. Now, America is a melting pot, and diversity is truly our strength. It does not mean that everyone knows our spoken main language. So sometimes we fall into this category, or when we're busy and it's like, oh, I can't read this, and we start recycling it straight away. So non-readers in our marketing are going to require photographs, images, QR codes, phone numbers, any of those items. We need to balance our message with each of these three, by the way. So the next group, 10 to 15% are avid readers. Raise your hand if this is you. Do you read everything you can get your hands on? You read everything in the agenda regarding this TLI. You wanted to know who are the speakers, what are their credentials, what am I going to learn from it, and if there were any typographical mistakes. Bless your hearts. You're the ones who found them. You know, yes, and punctuation in America goes inside the quotation marks. So I'm an avid reader too. All right, so 10 to 15%. The majority though, and if you were at last night, here's the answer that you were prepared for. Skimmers account for 70 to 80% of our reading populations today. 70%, it does, because we need bullet points. We need short body copy. And if something is printed out, we want it on paper that feels good. Raise your hand if that's you. Yep, we're skimmers. So here's what happens is the skimmers find things that relate to them, then they convert into avid readers and take action. We need to balance our message for each of these reading types. All right, then there's 3 stages. So for instance, David Ogilvy in his book, Confessions of an Advertising Man, indicated that the stages must occur in this particular order if we are going to move the reader through our piece to the desired outcome we want them to take. The first stage is relevance. You and I do the same thing when we're looking at something. Does this relate to me? The questions here include WIIFM. What's in it for me? The time available is very short. It is 1 to 7 seconds. When we're driving down any of the 5 freeways, then we're looking at billboards. We give them 2.5 seconds if we're going 75 miles per hour. It's that fast. We're making decisions. So here's what happens is that we're in an information overload stage. We're bombarded with messages coming from everywhere. And with discernment, we're looking through something of how can we find that this relates to us immediately. Based on relevance, it needs to be placed at the top area of any advertising. That's why I choose to use questions that name the pain, hand it back to the reader in the form of questions. Then it's as if it's a pattern interrupt. So that's stage 1, relevance. Based on how well we answer that question, they move with us into stage 2, which is confirmation. So now the question that the reader's asking was I correct? Was I right? Does this relate to me? Then we start skimming through, or the avid readers will read all of the long text. So does this relate to me? And now the time is longer. It's up to 90 seconds. So in a flyer or a brochure, it might be a minute and 90, it might be a minute and a half, but still it's not fast. And if we take stage 3 and place it ahead of stages 1 or 2, it will not work. So let's take a look at stage 3, which is action, also known as the call to action. So the question that the reader's asking here is, it relates to me, I've confirmed it, what do I do next? Here we need to be absolutely crystal clear in what we want them to do. If you are inviting them to a club open house, or as we talked last night about Speechcraft, which there are additional handouts on the back table here right as you go through the hallway. So if we're inviting people to a special seminar that then 2 weeks later begins a Speechcraft program, then again, that's the call to action that you choose to create. You want to create, here's the golden nugget, create a sense of urgency. Create a sense of urgency, as in call now, register today, limited seating. Any of those are a call to action. So the time available, I put ALAN, stands for as long as needed. Goes back to our 3 reading groups. The avid readers will go back, reread, see if they missed something. Is parking included? Is lunch included? And by the way, ice cream social this afternoon as well. All of that, right? So what does this look like in our promotions? All right, I have a couple of graphics here for you. So the first of all, let's say that you're doing a vertical flyer, and feel free to capture a screenshot in just a second. So this is what goes where, and now you know why. Relevance is up at the top, typically in a question that names their pain. Then you have stage 2, which is a confirmation. It could be the longer body text. It could be the bullet points. Then you have stage 3, which is placed at the bottom for the call to action. So what does it look like when we do Facebook posters? You just turn it into a landscape, and the formula still fits. This relates to flyers, any type of promotion that you're doing. Even in emails, make sure that the subject line creates the type of response that teases people enough to open the email. Don't say what it is, maybe ask a question that's going to make them click open. And that's how we can do marketing very, very simple. So here's a before and after. I presented to District 119 back in Queens, New York, just a couple of months ago. It was also their first hybrid. So this was the original layout that they did for their poster. So there, you are invited, strengthen your soft skills. You know, it's pretty good for a beginning ad, right? Looks pretty good. Well, then check the order of things. You are invited is a stage 3 item in a stage 1 placement. Here's what I did with it. I opened up with questions up at the top. So I just tweaked it is all I did, tweak, not even a complete do-over. And then added the tick boxes because it implies relevance. Ooh, there's another golden nugget. Use check marks and tick boxes. Then what the program is to strengthen your soft skills, all right? And then, so you are invited, moved now to a stage 3 area. Feel free to capture a screenshot. And this is being recorded, so you are welcome to watch the recording of any of the 3 presentations that I'm doing for you. So this is also from, I want to say, District 119, yes, out of New York. And this was the original advert. All right, so it has a logo. First of all, when it comes to branding, clubs may not have their own logo. Auf Deutsch, das ist verboten. So that's forbidden. It breaks our branding techniques. All right, so then here's what I'm going to suggest with it, and this is for an advanced club, by the way. So then follow along. This is another golden nugget when you're looking at advertising, and you could do this with the junk mail, excuse me, direct mail marketing pieces that you receive in your post, is take a red and a green marker and go through and circle every time in red what are the references to you. So we, our, we, us, we. Then take a green marker and go through and circle every time that something is it for them. Others, there. That's pretty much it. All right, so check your text. Here's the golden nugget. Be reader-friendly, audience-centered. Reader-friendly, audience-centered. Make it all about them. Again, it goes back to the opening comment. How are we approaching potential members? Instead of launching onto them with, oh, you're going to blah, 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 start asking questions. What's in it for them? What might their potential needs be? And how does the Toastmaster experience help support and be the solution to their problem, their challenge, their issue? All right? So check your text. Now, here's a great one. This was announcing from District 101, so thank you, Shalina. So register now. This one, and we've already had, a couple of conversations regarding this, so I'm so excited to see what's next for the PR team here from our district. Register now is a stage 3 item and a stage 1 placement for that's about us, not about them. See the difference? Now you will never look at a piece ever the same way again after this insightful session. And always use your hashtags, absolutely. And then, okay, so then on this particular poster for Facebook, What position is register now and the QR code in? Is it in 1, 2, or 3? Register now is in a stage 1 area. Where should it be placed? Thank you. You're art directors already. I love it. I created a course for UC Berkeley on designing marketing materials and then came up and presented it for the extension program. So again, yes, register, bottom right-hand corner. Feel free to capture a screenshot of this one. This is a flyer that I designed for District 46, which is in New York. This is an internal flyer specific to how to create effective speech contest flyers for area and division directors. Using TI branding, so the yellow rays in the background, the fonts, the colors, all of this is Toastmaster branding. And it fits the model. Relevance, questions up at the top. Confirmation, longer body text with bullet points and short body text. Then it has the information. So this is a logical flow of how the reader reads things. So why not tap into that? Make it easy for them to follow. Then with the call to action. All right, here's another example. This is a great one for Speechcraft. Feel free to capture a screenshot of this. Same thing, questions up at the top, then what the program is. And when you are promoting a Speechcraft, and please do, it's the best way to keep your club healthy and your current members energized as well as launch a new club. So when we refer to Speechcraft, let's refer to it as a 4, 6, or 8-week communication skills program. It will enlist more people into it, charge the $50 per person per the Speechcraft digital bundle, and then add a little bit more and say that it includes 6 months of membership. Ooh, they'll stay. I'm here as a result of Speechcraft from March 17th, 1985. So you're looking at, 87, 36 years that I stand before you because I was invited to a Speechcraft program in San Diego. All right, so that was an external message. All right, also in your handout then, page 3. This is a checklist for you, so I'm not going to go into detail. I wanted to make it easy for you when you are promoting any type of event, some of the considerations that go into the planning. This is for you. The main tip I want to point out, though, here is a quote by one of our Toastmasters International Golden Gavel Award recipients, Dr. Stephen Covey. And this is one of the 7 habits of highly effective people. This is a big golden nugget, by the way. This is the second habit. To begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind. So that's in your handout. You might want to circle it. And here's why. I do the same thing when speaking, coaching, training, anything that I'm doing today, because there's a parallel between speak and market like a pro. The concept is that imagine instead of being the presenter or the advertiser, remember that instead you are a person in your audience listening to this message or a person who's going to be reading this particular promotion. Be them. Reverse engineer it. If I were them, what would I need to know, and how does it need to be related to me so I see its relevance, confirm it, and I will immediately take action. Perfect parallels between speaking and marketing. Always begin with the end in mind. When I teach people how to speak like a pro, my formula is don't write the introduction yet. I call it a backward flow, is that you begin with the end in mind. How are you going to be ending that presentation? Build backward. Based on this is what you want people to, as Ed said, know, feel, or do. What do you want them to do as a result of your speech? Then you build in the proper stories that are going to support it and the data, etc. And then you craft the introduction last. You can do the same thing in marketing. What is it that you want people to do as a result of reading this particular piece? Build backward, and everything will support your efforts. Do you like that idea? That's like a big golden nugget you didn't know you were going to get today. I love it. All right, it's going to change how you speak, too. All right, so then let's take a look at some of these, identify the needs and problems and challenges. You know, this is just an idea starter. Feel free to capture a screenshot of this. Add to this list though. Add to this list. Think about what were the reasons that you originally joined Toastmasters and how are you doing with overcoming those particular challenges. Tell your story, what brought you into Toastmasters. As a business owner, I needed to give my employees good feedback. That's why I did. And I could not even do a self-introduction at the Chamber of Commerce and networking meetings. 15 seconds, oh, I'm a blubbering mess. Was. Thanks to the practice and using the word of the day, toolify. So, you know. All right, so here's an example of an external. This one's out of New Zealand, and I love this. Go ahead and capture a screenshot of it too, because they get very direct in this. What is in it for you? Bing, bing, bing. Then it has for entrepreneurs and professionals specifically. So last night we had an attendee who wants to do a speechcraft program specifically for women in business, right? Well, she's online today. And yes, what are the added benefits and what can we do to bring that into the Toastmaster experience? This one's also from Australia. So good day, mates, if you're attending. Good to have you here. Good on you. All right, then what about job seeking? And then it has a photo. They call them pickies, by the way, short for pictures, you know, and it's really well done. Then they also did another one, same template to help professionals. So you could do this. Again, the message needs to align with the market. It needs to be a perfect match. So here you have a lot of support. TI has designed templates and templates and forms, brochures and flyers that you can use. This one, I did bring a copy, so if you do want to see an actual printout of it, otherwise it's item number 702 for club marketing. And it's a wonderful guide that gives you ideas of what is really available for you. What I will share with you is that as you are selecting items to use, that you follow the format of the relevance, the confirmation, and the action. Those are fun flyers. Here is one of the Toastmaster trifold brochures. Brochures are a different type of marketing piece than a flyer or a Facebook ad. Here's how people look at them, and I cover this extensively in my book, by the way. So the Find Your Voice, this is the front cover of the brochure. This is the outside back panel. This is the flap that folds in. Can you imagine that? Okay, thank you for, okay. This is the inside then, so from left to right. So what people do when they open a trifold brochure is they look at the front cover, they immediately flip it over to the back outside cover, which needs to have more benefits and relevance to them, or they will not open it up and read it in order first, second, third. I've done great research on that. It's fascinating. All right, so then here's another one. Same thing. We have brochures that we can use. Same thing. So if you are approaching businesses, corporations, instead of a flyer, I would suggest a brochure. Match the messenger to the market. Flyers could be great for promoting your speechcraft. And if you don't have a regular flyer for your club promotion, time to make one. And you can easily follow any of the formats here. And again, trifold brochures. So take advantage of what Toastmasters has created for us. Then also back to the handout, another checklist for you. So for instance, what is your event and who is it for? Begin with the what? End in mind. Begin with the end in mind. Who is it for? What's it going to be important for them? So this particular handout, again, a checklist gives you ideas for event promotion. It may not be complete, though, for your particular area of Northern California, so go through it and see what else. I think Meetup is on there, and so this is for District 101, so you have a YouTube channel. You know, get out there every chance that you can and be consistent with it, which brings us to our branding. It's imperative that we continue using the Toastmasters look, which, by the way, our dues, yours and mine, we paid for this massive change back in 2010 when Pat Johnson was international president. And TI worked with Sasha Strauss at USC, major marketing guru, to help do all of the research, and his team to help us find our new brand. So here's a couple of to-dos and to-don'ts. Regarding our logo, do not mix it with anything else, especially cartoons. Yeah, and don't use anything by Disney because they do sue. Don't mess with the mouse. I'm just saying. All right, so is someone here from Friendly Toastmasters? Do we have Friendly? You are. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I've used a couple of examples from your club on Facebook. Yeah, I did a lot of research before this program. So what I love is that you look friendly. You absolutely look friendly. One suggestion I'll have for you is that we are no longer to use our old, they are called historic or legacy banners, in any of our promotion. It confuses the brand. And believe me, I had those banners. Being a district governor back in 1993 in the home district of Helen Blanchard, our very first international president. So it's time to update the banner. Please take new shots. That's the only thing on this one. Okay, keep us brand friendly, if you would, please. Okay, all right. But continue using photos. Absolutely continue using photos. And then here's our color palette. And you can download these in any of the recipe, the codes, if you will, to be consistent with our brand there. And then use photos. Use photos of your people. Please, friendly, I love this. It's so inviting to come into your club. So how many of you do have for your clubs, do you have club photos? Do you have club photos? Have you thought about taking photos of people during your meeting and use with permission to use in promotion? Have your people, because then people go, oh, they look so friendly. Oh, okay, I can do this. Oh, I'm going to meet her. They want to see you. They want to see you. So start taking photos of your meetings, of people who are presenting and receiving ribbons with big old smiles on their faces. Yeah, people want to see that. They're looking for what are the results. If you don't have any of those yet, consider using the Toastmasters International stock photos, which are inside the brand portal, and I had links up here for it. So again, you can start using promotions on this. I would use these two photos for promoting Speechcraft. And you could build an entire ad around these two photos with the text inside of the photograph. All right, so then again, more photos that you can use. Oh, my tip on this one is crop out distracting elements to photos. I narrowed the ceiling, so you can see this one. I dropped the ceiling and focused in. I would also definitely remove exit signs and people's beverages, if at all possible. Keep them clean. Bring in what is the object that you want people to see. Also with our branding are the fonts. All right, so then let's take a look at, boy, we've had a rapid fire session here and we still have a few more minutes to go. So what golden nuggets, and if we can watch the chat, Jay, if we can watch the chat, Anna, thank you. So what are some of the golden nuggets that you have captured from this session already? Thanks, Anna, I see you up on the screen. What golden nuggets? Okay, so Lorraine, let's get ready to run. You had a nice little break though. Thank you. All right, back, go ahead, Elaine, golden nugget.
The order of the call to action comes last.
Okay.
Specific.
What's the first one?
The questions, what's in it for me?
Relevance. What's the second one?
The body.
Confirmation, the body. The longer text. Great. So right there. Go ahead. What else? What golden nuggets do you have on your sheet? Go ahead.
Begin with the end in mind.
Who said it?
Stephen Covey.
That's right. Stephen Covey. Okay. So golden nuggets here. There you go. You're going to remember that quote. Okay. Great. What else? All the way in the back, Lorraine. All the way in the back. Go ahead. Make it about them. How do we do that? The photos, the text, the questions. Get personal with it. Okay, thank you. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Be reader friendly and audience centered. Thank you. Keep your hand up so she can see. Okay, go ahead. Use pictures of current members. Go ahead. So travel, be aware of the travel, make it easy for people to participate. Great, over here. Oh, right, okay. So 70 to 80% are skimmers, not just his wife. What are you? Did you find yourself in that in a category? Maybe, are you an avid reader? Yeah, I thought so. Okay. Toastmasters is great therapy, by the way, for couples. You find out all kinds of things through the speeches. Go ahead. Yes, go ahead. Yes. A sense of urgency. Create it. Call now. Enroll today. Register today. Limited seating. Go ahead. That was the very first nugget. All right, so have a handout. Have a handout at the beginning of your session with your contact information on it. So Lorraine right here too. Oh, sorry, keep your hand up. Okay, go ahead. Use check marks, right? Or if you have the box, then they will go through and tick it themselves, which is a good thing too. Go ahead. Reverse engineering both ads and in speeches. Great, you like that. Go ahead. So, okay, so it's circling, my example was with red about us, we, our, and make sure that you have more green of that it's about them, what are the benefits? So you, your, any of those. Great, go ahead. Brochure instead of a flyer, especially for who that market may be. Come over here. Use questions that will drive the response you want. Great, go ahead. QR code, great, you had your hand up again. Yay. Right, there you go. So brochures, and then you're also watching what are the directions of the adverts. Great, couple more. Philip, for you, what's a golden nugget?
I'm a little bit concerned, Cheryl, about Lorraine. She had to tap out, and someone else has to carry the nuggets. Do we have any oxygen for her? No, Lorraine too.
Lorraine too, we have Lorraine too. Okay. All right, Philip, what's your golden nugget? You got to earn it.
I want to go back to the red circles and the green circles.
Red circles and green circles. Go ahead.
Red circles, less about us. Green circles, more about them.
Bingo. Okay. So now you earn the chocolate, just to be clear. Okay, couple more golden nuggets. What do we have online, Anna?
We got nothing. I've been encouraging. When I want to ask them, I've been encouraging them to post.
I know, you don't get golden nugget chocolates, I know, but we would love to hear what are some of the golden nuggets that you captured because you had front row seats for the visuals. All right, so Solazar, if you want to pop a note in there. Christine, so Christine, also a professional speaker and an etiquette expert in Toastmasters. So feel free to add Rich Hopkins. Thank you. So he was a contender final world championship contestant. Ken Braley, great to see you here too. Major master in marketing and IT. So it's great to have hey, Rich, there you go. Everybody wave at Rich. Hi, Rich. All right, so hey, buddy, unmute and tell us what's one of your golden nuggets from this.
Well, I really loved everything you had to say about flyers, and I definitely am going to be sending those to my club because we don't do flyers near enough.
There you go. Thank you. And now you can share the formula with them. Maybe in a 5 to 7. I don't know. Great. Over to Davis. Let's see. All right. So, okay, we'll keep it open there. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. So in this session, now we're getting them. All right. So crop and remove distractions from photos. Thank you. Brochures for companies. Yep. The messenger needs to match to the market. Great, thanks, Judy. Okay, we're going to keep watching. All right, as we wrap up over here, and then we'll have Q&A as well. So in this insightful session, then you've learned tried and proven methods. These are timeless, by the way. If you're thinking, oh, well, how does that relate to, and a question that I get is, what program should you be designing things in? My answer, whatever you have. Because these transfer into any software, any app. You can take all of this right into Canva and make sure to observe and respect TI branding. As a graphic designer, gosh, and working with clients, I use everything from Word to PowerPoint to iKeynote to iPages, gosh, from PageMaker. Do you remember that one? I'm kind of dating myself a little bit there. Use whatever it is you have and apply these into it. Figure out in your program exactly how to do that. Did I see? Okay, so Francois, all right. The comment was? Thank you. And that's also a key point about training. We can recap our program just as this particular slide does. However, when we allow and encourage our audience to recap the program, we get to hear it. You get to hear yourself say it, which locks in those nuggets. And chocolate, just because. I'm just saying, just because. So create something, and sometimes I'll give away payday candy bars or 100 grand. Well, you know, if it works for you, find your style. And that's what Toastmasters has also helped me do, is to find out what topics I'm really passionate about and to polish up my rough edges so that I could present it in a way that would be potentially golden, because my company is Sparkle Presentations. So that brings us to any of the resources that you'd like to take home with you today. There are some out on the table. You also have a copy of this in the flyer in the handouts. And feel free to, gosh, let's see, take advantage of the Solid Gold newsletter design book. It's only $20 here, or electronic version. And I am not charging any tax today. So I am covering your 9.125% sales tax in California. And any of the items that you would like shipped, I'm shipping for free. So take advantage of, basically, things are either $15 or $20 on the table outside. Any of the online courses, they're either $29 or $49, and they're loaded. You've seen how much that I pack into a very short amount of time, because it is my privilege to be of support. So Heart of a Toastmaster book is 135 true stories by, for, and about members from around the globe, and it was sanctioned by World Headquarters. Pat Johnson has a couple of stories which are published within it, so feel free to ask us to sign copies for you. You might want to get a copy of this because of the stories which are in it. I received an email recently from a man who ordered the print-on-demand copy, and he told me this at the International Convention in Bahamas last week. He said, we just used some of the stories at our open house. And I thought, wow, that was brilliant. That was brilliant. So have us sign a copy of it for you. And let's see. Oh, and I do have another USB, and it's loaded. It's worth over $197, by the way. And it's loaded with all of that, including there's a workbook manual. All of these are I wouldn't say endorsed, but they are approved by TI and have sold at the international conventions previously. So these are approved by World Headquarters with copyright permissions using the accredited speaker logo. And I have a USB only on the on the accredited speaker program. It's loaded. It's only $20. It's included in all of this as an electronic version, all on the USB for only $59. So if you want to take me home with you, that's a good way to do it. That's a good way to do it. All right, so, and I was proud to be an official sponsor of our international convention in the Bahamas. So after 36 years inside of this organization, you know, we just keep giving back. So when you get to certain places, you know, people say, oh, you're a celebrity. No, I'm a member, a seasoned member, as I heard it here. I'm a seasoned member, and I've been working the program. So whatever your goals, whatever your dreams are, utilize your Toastmaster experience and get all you can. Helen Blanchard once said, if you get all you can out of Toastmasters, you will never get out of Toastmasters. 36 years, I can see why she said that.